Hi, today I want to talk about sales pipeline, and what sales procedures I think are superior to other procedures and why I think they are. Simply put, there are things that did work 10 years ago, 20 years ago, maybe even 50 years ago, maybe even 200 years ago. And then there are things that are quite new, that are interesting, like Instagram, live streams, selling on live streams, Facebook ads, and so on. And I'm not saying these things are all super new, but they are relatively new. And then when you look at things like physical mails, um, emails I would consider old school because emails have been around for a long time. Newsletters, because newsletters are also have been around for a very long time, and phone calls. Phone calls are also that's like, typical 80s kind of selling, to do cold calls basically. And the reason why I think, for example, something like a cold call can be superior to a Facebook ad is because if you can do a cold call today, you can do it in 20 years. Like, it's very unlikely that people are not going to use phones anymore. The way we use them for quite a while, right? So, and the same is true for emails. I don't think that people are going to stop using emails. And also physical mail. I don't intend to do physical mails in the future, but I know from people who do their sales with physical mail. So there are companies that spend hundreds of euros on sending physical mails to company. But the reason why this can cost a lot of, it can pile up to cost a lot of money, is because to send one mail, you maybe have to cost like maybe €1 or 85 cents, and then there's also the cost of the physical letters, and so on, and that can add up. But back to the topic of sales and sales process and the sales pipeline. So what I think, when we have a pipeline that involves traditional selling methods, it's something that's very sustainable, because we know if we do that, it's going to also work, let's say, just next year. Because if you use something like, I don't know, TikTok, for example, and I'm not sure that would be a good method for our industry, but let's say we do that, then we literally don't know if that's going to work next year. So I'm actually experiencing that with Facebook at the moment, to some extent, because I used to make marketing with Facebook groups, and this has become increasingly more difficult. And the reason for that is, I think it's because there's more scammers on Facebook in general. And then people are more wary what you post in a group, and then, oh, he's posting advertisement in our group. Let's ban him from our group, or let's delete the post. And yeah, this is a reason. Another thing in general about, okay, maybe if we think, or like, that this might be too salesy to directly contact people, call people. Actually, I have not made this experience. So what I usually did to call is, I say, hey, name is George. I am from a 3D rendering company, so I'm not even saying I'm running a 3D rendering, but I'm saying, okay, I'm from a 3D rendering agency company, something like that. And then I say, what's our intent? We want to venture into that industry. So let's say it would be furniture, it would be architecture, real estate. And for that reason, we found your company, and we have something interesting to offer. Are you interested in that? Something like that, I would usually say, and people are fine with that. There might be a case where, no, it actually hasn't happened, but I could imagine like people saying like, oh, we just hired a company for exactly that. At the moment, we are focusing on other things, so we don't really have time to, have a talk with you. But when I called people, actually, no one was like annoyed, or everyone was, kind of interested, but some people would be like not interested, like at the moment maybe. But in general, you have to think about this, that even if you have like a great product or service, it's not that people are just going to find it. I mean, it works. I think the one thing, of course, you provide a good service, so people will recommend you, and that's one thing. But it's not that you just do something that's great, and then people are going to say, "Hey, that's great," and therefore, the people are just going to find it because it's great and it's like word of mouth. I think the reason why that doesn't work so well anymore because there's just a plethora of information out there that you have to really promote yourself quite. You have to sell hard, you have to really be out there selling, so they hear from that great product or service you have. What I also want to talk about is the pipeline. So the sales pipeline that we have at the moment. I like it when there are different departments doing different jobs. So there's suddenly someone coming up with where do we want to venture in, like what idea. Then this idea gets into the lead generation department. The lead generation department gives the list of leads to the actual like sales department, which would be at the moment me making calls. But then there's another department I'm kind of missing. I would really like to have someone or a department writing the emails. So maybe I give the information from the calls to someone writing the emails, because uh, the reason is not like, oh, I'm too lazy to do that. Maybe I am, but the point is that you can be more effective doing it that way. So you could work like one day. I get fed the leads and I do the calls, and then there's the next process, another list I give to someone else, writing the sales process. Then that can come back to me. I can maybe do a second call, can come back to them. We can check what emails maybe get answered, what information just comes from the prospect side, and therefore we can kind of like by a lot of like trying things out, get a pipeline set up that can work for us. And if it's a pipeline, like I said, that's not that is not based on things that are maybe going to change, like I don't know, Facebook ads, for example. Because I think there's nothing wrong about something like Facebook ads, but you don't, even if you make it work, you don't know if that works in a year from now, because like these things are a bit volatile. You don't know, you're dependent on like one corporation and just things that are not so stable. So I think these things like what I find at the moment is really sales calls. And what I also find interesting is a newsletter. I don't have the time now to do all of these things. And that's what I'm thinking. Like if we have a pipeline where there's different people, different departments, everyone knows exactly what they have to do to make this work, then you can have a sales pipeline. You can have really good sales, and that's really what can make the business successful. So that's my thoughts on that. Let me know what you think. Have a good day. Bye.